Hey everyone, it's James with geometriccharts.com, December 5th, about 5:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So I talked about that we were going to chop around this area and then obviously roll over from this area. The question is, do we hold around this 3600 range, or do we start to dive deeper? If we start to waterfall through this area on Bitcoin, then more than likely, more than likely we are going to continue to drop, and we could easily waterfall into maybe like the high side is going to be around like 2900 to potentially find a bottoming area. If the drop gets more significant than that, then obviously we have much lower to dive. I don't think we're at that point quite yet. I think we're probably going to hold around this 3600 area. But if we do not, again, just get ready for a whole nother waterfall event from that level to the next level, and to where we can hopefully find some buyers and form a bottom that I think would at least take the rest of the year to kind of like chop around at before maybe producing a bigger relief rally based on what we've seen here. So we've had a lot of selling pressure at the moment. Again, this happens, historically in Bitcoin, where you get a lot of selling pressure and then eventually you get a bigger relief rally. And that's pretty much the pattern. It's the same pattern almost with every single market out there. You get a lot of selling pressure. You get people that get very eager to buy the bottom. They get chopped out. They try again, get hammered out. They see this, chase it up, get hammered out. It causes another drop. If that drop continues, it just shows that those sellers are in complete control of this market. And in this market, one thing I've definitely said since almost like day one is that sellers are in control of this market, and I would get a lot of flack for it, and whatever. It's just the nature of this beast. Sellers are in control of this market. So eventually energy to either way, as it gets expended, has to recoup, and that is exactly what leads to corrections in bull markets and relief rallies in bear markets. This market is clearly in a bear market and has been since the 20,000 top. Whether it's manufactured or not, I imagine it's manufactured. I imagine that we are looking at a potential move into a consolidation of power. I do not think it is the end of cryptocurrency. It's an intangible asset, but at the same time, I see the future for it, and I think many people do. And to me, it, like I've said in other videos, it's the ultimate form of monetary control that spans the entire globe. So I think crypto is definitely the way of the future. Just looking from a standpoint, if I was a controlling entity and I wanted to control and monitor everything, what would be the best way to do it? Fiat is not that. Cryptocurrency would be for tracking purposes. So, and everything's about tracking. Facebook, Google, etc. It's all about tracking. It's not conspiracy. It's just the way it is. You become a marketer, you get marketing, you get access to the marketing tools, and I swear to you, it'll open up your mind to a whole nother realm that the average individual does not understand. So when I look at cryptocurrency, that's the way I'm looking at it. Is how do you understand what your citizens are doing day in, day out, and this is the perfect opportunity for it. So if it's going to be that way and it's going to survive, obviously everyone wanted the anonymous factor there, to where people could do whatever they wanted with that, but there's no way the banks are going to allow that. So with that said, it's going to have to endure some real pain, and now we're starting to see that bloodbath phase in Bitcoin, in these altcoins. And I think a lot of these altcoins are going to get stomped out. They may not go all the way to zero, but I think they're going to dive very deep and just kind of flatline, and eventually they'll just disappear. They won't even be talked about in the future. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. When I popped open this, again, you could see the selling pressure, and I showed this chart a long time ago. I didn't mean to close it out. I didn't want to distract anybody while I was talking, but the point is that everything is pointing down. So Bitcoin was trying to trek up. Everything is pointing down. Momentum is dying. We're trying to relieve some of this, but we are still succumbing to the selling pressure, and the indicators are clearly depicting that, and they have been for a very long time in this market. And that's another thing I talked about as well too. So anyways, that's it for the video. You know, if we cannot hold this 3,600 area, we are going to deep dive to the low 3,000, possibly 2,800 area. If we cannot catch buyers there, we have much deeper to fall. I don't think we're at that point yet. We've had a lot of selling pressure, a lot of energy has been expended to the downside. Now I think we're kind of going through that recuperation phase, and that is going to increase the volatile swings in this market up and down, and it's going to be choppy for, I imagine, weeks before we start to see a kind of a pattern form, and then maybe a temporary bottom in this market. But I do think eventually we will dive deeper in this market unless we can make some miracle turnaround and bust through 5,500, 5,600 in the future and stay trading above this downtrend of doom, which is marked by the orange line. So anyways, hope everybody has a great day, great night, depending on where you are in the world. I'll talk to everybody on Friday. And I think we're going to start to see whether or not we're going to dive through this area, probably going into tonight or even tomorrow.